What's going on, ladies and gentlemen and ladies? We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. The Nick Shirley virality and the crime that's going on in Somalia, pretty much, which Minnesota has turned into. We have to talk about it. And then I'm going to bring my wife on the show because we have to talk about this biracial couple online selling victimhood. Welcome to the Austin Tatum Show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning then, you might as well go on the day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like and subscribe to the YouTube, The Officer Tatum Show. Subscribe to The Officer Tatum on Substack. Also, the podcast network. I think a lot of people forget that I'm not only on YouTube and the socials, I'm also on every podcast network. So all you got to do is go to The Officer Tatum. Two other things that I want you to be aware of is Freedom Chat. If you want secured end-to-end encryption communication, get off of that WhatsApp and all of those crazy stuff and join a company that believes in your values. That is Freedom Chat. All you got to do is go to the App Store, download Freedom Chat, find my page, The Officer Tatum, follow me. I promote behind-the-scenes content and some other stuff that we do right there on Freedom Chat. You can message me there, all of the above. And a big shout out to Blackline. We'll talk about that here in a second. But let's get to the Nick Shirley situation. This is the craziest sugar honey iced tea that I have ever seen. The amount of fraud that's coming out of Minnesota is crazy. Let me just give you a perspective financially. A lot of people out here crying, spitting, crying on each other, laying out in the middle of the street because we give $3.8 billion to Israel for defense, which they have to then spend in America per year. But yet the fraud in Somalia, AKA Minnesota, is now they're saying up to $18 billion. That's like 6 years of military funding for Israel that people claim as an existential threat to America in one city. One state. They've arrested like 60 people responsible for $18 billion worth of fraud. I mean, literally, they doing more fraud in Minnesota than the GDP in Somalia. You can't make this up. So Nick Shirley, who's an American hero, shout out to Nick Shirley, American freaking hero, going and exposing this stuff. And what does the mainstream media do? They haven't covered not one iota of this. Biggest fraud in American history. They haven't covered none of it. But I want to give you a quick recap. If you haven't been watching, we're going to play a couple clips of Nick Shirley so you can see kind of up to speed. And we're going to dive into all this stuff, even the stuff that came out today. Roll a clip.
Here in Minnesota, massive fraud is taking place within the government and the Somali population. Here, this building alone, Quality Learning Center, is a daycare, yet they spelled learning wrong and they said leering. This daycare alone in 2025 has received $1.9 million from the government. And the strange things about these childcare centers is there's no one here right now. It's midday on a weekday. And if you were to try to go inside,
this fraud is here at this daycare.
Don't open up!
So this is Quality Learning Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open
They
up!
said they spelt learning wrong.
Don't open up!
How do you have ice here, ma'am?
Hold
I'm
on,
literally a
time out.
YouTuber.
These dumb liberals are like, they make my nerves bad. What are you doing? Why are you even there talking about ice? And but you're not worried about the fraud in your city. Tax dollars going to fake daycare centers. And you out here saying, don't open up. These white liberals, God help us. They the reason why this stuff is even happening. They always want to protect the brown man. And don't know what the brown man trying to kill you and you trying to protect the brown man. against the other white man. Let's play the clips. We give you a summary. We'll be done in a second. Roll it.
Don't open up.
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up. We have ice.
I knocked on the door, and to my surprise, somebody actually answered the door.
Hello? Can we speak? I would like to check a child in the daycare. Why? Can I speak to a manager? Where can I get paperwork to file for my son? I wanted to put my son Joey in daycare.
And after a few...
And now where are we going?
Now we're going to Sweet Angel Childcare.
We're in the middle of a strip mall here inside of this neighborhood.
In fiscal year 2025, this facility, which has its license for 74 kids, was paid $1.26 million in tax money. And there are no kids, and all the facilities are the same way.
Listen.
That's a couple of the clips that we had just to give you a recap. And I want to go even deeper in this. We were going to talk about the security. I'm going to get to the security in a minute because we've been protecting Nick Shirley, and you guys have seen people talk about it. And I'll get to that in a minute. I'm sure you guys want to know and find out how to help support Nick Shirley's security. But before we get to his security and Black Line, I want to show a little bit of the fraud. And that's extend the conversation about how much fraud this really is. We got a couple clips from the news, a couple clips with some examples, and I'm going to play those right now to bring to your attention. Let's roll the first clip, 108.
Details this morning of how people in Minnesota spend hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars on luxury cars and real estate. Now, this money was stolen apparently from programs that provided services to poor children. Many of the accused are Somali Americans, a fact that President Trump has used to criticize the broader community in general.
A honeymoon in the Maldives, a fleet of luxury cars. Here's a box with more than $270,000 in cash. This was all evidence from a new trove of files obtained exclusively by CBS News, showing how a group of...
Let's go to clip 116. Roll it.
I spoke in the fall about the iceberg I saw ahead. Something's fraud that's much larger than what's been visible to the public. When I said that, it wasn't hyperbole or rhetoric, it was a warning. So the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services pulled the claims data for these 14 programs dating back to 2018. And those 14 programs in Minnesota have cost $18 billion since 2018, and more than $3.5 billion in 2024 alone. Now, I'm sure everyone is wondering how much of this $18 billion was fraud. That's it's not the $1 million question. That's the $18 billion question. I don't make these generalizations in a hasty way. So when I say a significant amount, I'm talking in the order of half or more. But we'll see.
Even half is like $8 billion. But like, is my math mathing? Maybe it's 9. It's actually 9. My math wasn't mathing. It's $9 billion is half of that. Let's go to what these fools were doing in 2015. This is way back in 2015. Roll the clip.
In order for the scheme to work, the daycare centers need to sign up low-income families that qualify for child care assistance funding. These surveillance videos are from a case prosecuted by Hennepin County. They show parents checking their kids into a center only to leave with them a few minutes later. Sometimes no children would show up. But either way, the center would bill the state for a full day of child care. This video from that same case shows a man handing out envelopes of what are believed to be kickback payments to parents who are in on the fraud.
Where was the money going?
I don't know exactly where it went.
Can you imagine it? It's just crazy to me. People got to go to jail over this. I know we rave. People have to go to jail, prison. This is treasonous. If these people are stealing this money and sending it overseas to fund a terrorist organization, bruh, that's death penalty stuff. What are we even saying here? And I want to get to the part where we show y'all how not only have this been exposed by Nick Shirley, not only do we know how much money that has been potentially defrauded from one city, we have evidence of the gaslighting that they're doing. That's the crazy part, is the gaslighting. So before we get to the gaslighting and before we get to whether or not people are going to go to jail, I want to talk about security real quick. Because if you have seen the craziness of what goes on when Nick goes out here, and as you can see in the clips that I played before, our people are protecting Nick in that clip. And the reason why you don't see them, because they're doing their job. Now, he just went back to Minnesota, and we've been protecting them in Minnesota now. But I want to show y'all a few clips of this type of stuff that Nick has to deal with going to try to uncover the bull crap. And if the guys that you see that have the balaclavas on, the face covered, those are our guys protecting Nick while he's out here, just asking legitimate questions about fraud. Look at how hostile these people are. Roll the clip.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. Move. Get the fuck out of here.
Resist. You cannot come in here. Resist.
We don't care. We don't know where it is. Get out. That's not your job. You don't know that. Get out.
He's recording.
Get out of here. Fucking idiot. Hey.
They're recording.
Get out of here, man. Move.
I didn't give you permission to record me.
What kind of why you come here? Why you have permission? No, get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, you have to stop the camera. You have to stop the camera. You have to stop the camera.
Stuff up. This is a lie. I don't care. Who do you work for? Who do you work for? No, who do you work for?
Shirley.
I don't care about Nick Shirley. This guy. But who do you work for? Nick Shirley. I don't care about Nick Shirley.
That's who he's working for today, Nick Shirley.
Stop here. Stop here. No business. Stop here.
Get out of here. Yes.
Would you like to give a statement, sir? And see, you guys say I can't film, but look at you guys filming. You can do that. You can film here.
From the state of Minnesota's website, advanced mobility. This address is in cars. You don't care about the state of Minnesota or what?
Where's advanced mobility at? That's all we're asking.
Anyone?
This doesn't even exist.
Advanced mobility?
What's it been like today?
Why don't you go to a white?
Does it exist?
Get over here.
White business. Why not just white business?
Why? I grew up in Minneapolis. I don't have to go
You
anywhere.
must be a history.
Did you grow up here? Did you grow up here?
Why do you care?
I was born in Minneapolis. So you're telling me to go
Go to the
somewhere.
white place.
I grew up here.
You're telling us to go to the white place.
What?
Now I want y'all to think of something
White-
real quick. Now you see these guys out there, I told you, go back to the camera angle. You see the guys out there with their face covered. These are all guys protecting Nick. They're covert in some areas, top tier guys. You F around, you'll find out. So, but good thing that they're there because they're a deterrent. Because just imagine if they weren't there, what do you think they would do to Nick? What I'm just saying, what do y'all think they'll try to do to Nick? You see how hostile they are with these dudes there. There's one more clip that I want to play to kind of show y'all a little bit of how aggressive these people are getting with Nick. Just all he's doing is saying, this is what the paperwork show. Where is this to prove it? They could have a spokesperson come out and talk to Nick and say, hey, this is what we have. Hey, come welcome into the building. Let us sit down and talk to you, because this is going all over the world. What Nick is doing is all over X. And if these people had a legitimate business model, they should be able to sit down and say, hey, come in, let us explain what's going on here. And you can record us and you can put it out to the world. But they doing fraud. Here's another clip of Nick out there and these people kind of being aggressive with him. But you know, when the black line is standing between you and evil, you're doing pretty good. Roll the clip.
How you doing, man?
I just want to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Why are you sensationalizing the propaganda?
What are we sensationalizing?
To attack our community. What's your final objective.
We're not attacking your community by any means.
Are you making good money from this?
We're looking for fraud.
No, I'm
For
not.
instance, can you answer our question? Where's Safari Transportation Company 607?
1 second.
It's not there.
How much money are you? How much money are you making?
Dreamline Security.
How much money are you making
I make
off
money
of
off
this?
of YouTube. That's how I make my money.
Exactly. So you're making money off of sensationalizing.
That my job
and attacking
is-
the Somali community.
I'm not attacking you guys. We're asking.
I'll tell you the
Fraud
reason why
fraud,
this is
sir.
happening. All right. Let me
David,
tell you the reason why you're
fraud is
attacking
fraud,
this.
correct?
Yes.
This has nothing to do with race. This is fraud.
This is absolutely has to do with us being Muslim.
No, it does not.
All right, and us being from Africa. This is a constitutional argument. If you don't want us here, change the freedom of religion. Say, listen, we don't want Muslims in this country anymore.
We're not saying
No,
that.
no, no, no.
We're not
Because
saying
when I go
Sir,
onto
we're
your
talking
comments,
about fraud. You're
when I go onto your comments,
My comments
what I
aren't
see
me.
is people that say we do not want Muslims here. Kick every single Muslim in Minnesota out of Minnesota.
That's a comment.
You are listen. You're
That's not what I'm
preparing.
saying.
You're preparing for the Somali community to maybe be taken
Yeah,
to
you
concentration
better pipe
camps.
down.
Just like the Japanese community. All right. You're sensationalizing.
No, we're not.
All right,
Sir,
something that
answer
can
the
listen.
question. Where-
That's something
where
that can
is the transportation
something that
vehicle
can
company?
jeopardize
Answer the
the
question.
safety and the protection of the
This is
Somali
fraud.
community.
We're talking
If
about
anything
fraud, sir.
happens to the
We're
Somali
talking about
community, listen.
fraud.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not physically touching
You're
you.
getting very close.
I'm not physically
You're
touching
very
you.
close.
No, I'm not physically touching you.
This is fraud.
What
We're
you're
talking about
doing,
fraud.
what you're
You're
doing, what you're
defending
doing.
fraud.
When I go
defending
into your
fraud.
comments,
You're defending fraud.
people who hate Muslims, who want us out of here
can say
for
what they
being
want. I'm not
Muslim,
censoring
are
anybody.
using your material. Islamophobes use your material. People who hate Islam use your material. Say to us, we don't want you here. Change the Constitution.
Okay,
But
got
guess
you.
what? Let me tell you something. Guess what?
Say it. We're asking about
You
fraud.
know, what
We're
you
asking
do.
about fraud.
You hate Muslims.
I'm not saying I hate
You
Muslims.
hate
We're
you know
talking
you
about
hate
fraud.
Muslims.
We're talking
Why are
about
you
fraud.
attacking us? Are we
is
the only
fraud.
community that suffers because of fraud?
We're talking about
Are
fraud.
we the only community that does fraud? Are we the only community that does this?
This is about fraud.
All right, but there's what, 300 Somali providers in all of Minnesota?
There's actually.
I'm not. Don't touch me.
keep talking.
Is there,
Don't go close.
do you speak English? Right?
Don't go close.
Your security doesn't even speak English. Listen,
Yeah,
let me tell you
so
something.
See, this isn't a race.
Yeah, right.
Listen. Let me tell you
He's
something.
about fraud.
playing.
We have what, 1,000
You be
providers?
speaking through a straw.
you guys
No, I'm
have
just
a-
playing.
Even it's
I'm kidding.
2,000 providers.
Okay,
You
sir.
want to sacrifice the safety of
Sir.
80,000 people
We're not
because of 2,000 providers? Are you mad?
Señor.
Are you stupid?
I'm not stupid. You're stupid.
You're
All right, I just wanted to show
sensationalizing-
that perspective real quick. It gets crazier, and our guys are obviously standing in between and making sure Nick is safe. But you see how crazy these people get with him? Do you see how they try to make it about race and make it because they're Somalians from Africa? You doing $18 billion in fraud. Y'all doing more fraud than the Somalian country GDP. And it's because you black. Now, I just want to give a quick shout out to the guys, our Black Line guys that are out there protecting Nick, man. Shout out to them, man. When I watch the videos and I see them protecting him, they're fair. They're not violating nobody's rights. Look, you get too close, then they got to step in. But they're respectful. They're doing the job like they're supposed to. So shout out to the Black Line Security for protecting Nick. And I'll say this too. If they weren't there, what do you think would happen? With that in your mind, we need to continue to help Nick have security. And we're very transparent with everything that's involved. Nick knows exactly how much money you guys are supporting him with, and all of that goes 100% to his security. The beauty about the nonprofit is that we don't have no overhead in nonprofit right now. We don't have any people, that we have to pay salary to, none of that. So all of it goes directly to Nick and his security. And people who donate can earmark it just for Nick, and it goes directly to Nick. And we give Nick reports every day, and we cover his security at 100%. But if you want to be a part and support him, which obviously we're going to need to if he's going to continue to do this, I wish that people can just cover his security for the year. Elon, if you're watching this, help cover his security for the whole year, and then we don't have to worry about it. All you got to do is go to Black Line Guardian Fund. We'll put the link below. It's Black Line Guardian Fund. You can go on. It's a tab at the top that says Support Nick, Shirley. Click that link. Give whatever God has purposed on your heart. If you think you want to give hundreds of thousands, if you somebody that's rich and you want to pay his security for the year, you can give through the account, or you can contact us. If you need to contact us to wire the money or whatever, go ahead and do it, and we'll make sure he get top tier security. These guys don't around. I just want y'all to know this is elite guys at the top of the food chain that's going to make sure Nick can do his journalism and he can get out of there if need be. Now let's get back to the gaslighting and the investigation. So I'm going to show you something real quick related to the gaslighting. And I think everybody should be aware of this. And that the gaslighting that they're doing should be so obvious to the public. You know what I mean? That I don't know how it's even questioned whatsoever. Before we get to the gaslighting, I want to talk about the investigation real quick, and I want to tell you about Ground.News. So let's pull up Ground.News, and I want to talk about this real quick. So if you are looking to get more information on this, which we all should be, because I want to know, is Kesh Patel going to actually do his job, right? And I think that he is. He's at least trying to, because the FBI has extended their investigation into the daycare fraud probe after the viral video of Nick Shirley. Like, Nick Shirley literally prompted the FBI to do their job. One is that he exposed it, which the media should be already doing. But anyway, if you want to be informed, and I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'm going to be watching. I'm going to not only be watching for the information, I'm going to be watching how people cover this. I want to know how people are going to cover it from the left. I want to know people in the center, and I want to know people covering it from the right, so we can get a full perspective of how the nation is keeping up with one of the biggest frauds being uncovered in United States history, especially Minnesota history. This is one of the biggest frauds in the country, but it's definitely the biggest fraud in Minnesota. But one thing I love about Ground.News is you can just go right here and look at the left and give you a synopsis of what the left is saying about it, the center, the right, and also they have bias comparison. So you can kind of see what the left, right, and center is talking about, and it gives an AI comparison. So you can have a quick synopsis of what the temperature is. Here's the podcast you can listen to talking about the topic. This is the most comprehensive website that I've ever seen. I would be a billionaire if I came up with this, and I wish I did. But I love our sponsor. They've been incredible to us, and I always want to give them a shout out and show support. Also, don't miss the blind spot. These are things that you need to be paying attention to. You can see right here who's talking about it. If the left is talking about it and the right ain't talking about it, that's the exact thing that you need to be paying attention to so you don't get caught off guard. You can get the Vantage plan. I think we can hook y'all up with 40% off. All you got to do is go to ground.news/Tatum, ground.news/Tatum. I think it's actually 50% off. So 50% off, we can get you 50% off. Go to the link in the description section. Let's get back to the gaslighting. This is going to pee you off. Let's go to Tim Walz real quick, because Tim Walz is the culprit in this. This is, to me, maybe even before this, but this is where the gaslighting starts. Roll the clip. This is this fool replacing the Minnesota flag. Roll it.
All right, ready. Whoa, wait a minute.
Where you going, Tim?
Staged.
Oh, yeah, great. Get that flag out of here. Bring in the new state flag. Oh, that's quite an ugly flag there, Tim.
Time out.
There, that's better.
You telling me you went from a comprehensive flag with all of that historicity in it, all of the designs, and it looks like, and you go to a flag with a star on it with two colors. That's what you... We don't hate what these people do enough. We don't hate it enough. These are evil, stupid, ignorant folk that's going to f our country up. And they grinning while they doing it. They are going to us. Roll the clip.
I can't believe Tim Walz replaced the state flag with a Somalian one. False! Tim Walz didn't pick Minnesota's new flag, and its designer said it wasn't inspired by Somalia's. Yeah, the fact checkers were all over this one when it seemed it might hurt Tim Walz's chances of becoming vice president. But are we, critical thinkers that we are, going to sit by and accept this? Here is the previous Minnesota state flag. It's alright, I guess. We have mountains, a guy working on a farm, and, an Indian on a horse. Well, we can't have an Indian on a horse.
Some imagery of the state flag was deemed politically incorrect.
It depicts a Native American riding off into the distance with a white settler on the land. The first flag, adopted in 1893, did too.
The Native American man on horseback was troubling to a great many. Let's pivot now in 2024 and do something that's more inclusive.
I think we can tell a better story.
Yeah, these dudes are a bunch of wussies with a P. I'm so sick of these people. I'm so sick of these lame duck dudes. Let's just line up, bro. Let's just line these dudes. Come on, line up. Let's the real men versus the wussies. Let's line up and finish it. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation that include knuckle sandwiches. Y'all know how sick you are a wussy. I won't do this because I'm a good man. I just want to walk and just slap one of these people. Open hand. I won't ball my fists on these dudes. You sitting here crying about a Native American on a horse, and you a man. I wish I wasn't a Christian. I'd be cussing and going crazy. Y'all, I'll give you what you really want, but I'm trying to be a good Christian. Okay, let's finish the clip.
Through the flag.
And what better story to tell than Somalia's conquering of Minnesota? False! Right. Sorry, fact checkers. It's totally not a Somalian flag. So a redesign commission was put together to come up with a new flag. They looked at many designs and settled on a base.
The commissioners have narrowed down their choices to one base design, but they're still trying to figure out exactly what elements the future flag will have.
Hold on a second. This is what they picked here? Okay, this is the Somalia flag, and this is the terrorist-infested Somali Puntland flag. You guys really thought people weren't going to connect any dots here? You're going to call people who find this highly suspicious conspiracy theorists?
It's such an honor and a privilege, and I'm so happy that we've changed the flag to something that is more inclusive to all people, specifically our indigenous communities.
It's inclusive to the indigenous communities by removing one from the flag. Addition by subtraction, you see.
It is unifying. It is pleasing
to... Enough
to...
is enough. All right, let's get to a couple other gaslit scenarios on this thing. Where that dumb woman at? That black lady. And then we're going to go back to Tim Walz, and then we're going to have Nick Shirley's response to it. But look at this garden tool. Wrote a clip.
So these were funds that were meant to go to help feed hungry people during the COVID pandemic, to help keep people in their homes who were at risk of homelessness. So first of all, if there is fraud there, that should be fully investigated, no matter where it is, whether it's in a Democratic-led state, a Republican-led state. I mean, let's pull back. So absolutely, it should be investigated. The question is, why is this a priority in a different kind of way? The politicization of the DOJ and the FBI is undeniable. So whether they are reliable narrators is the big question. And this is what happens when you weaponize and politicize federal agencies that are not meant to be, politicized. And I think the American people are right to ask the question, well, can we trust you? And that's a sad thing to say as an American. Let's recall, too, that there's also other scandals in other states. For example, the Mississippi welfare scandal. And this is not unique to politics. Americans know that. But, of course, the other factor here is that because it looks like the Somali population in Minnesota, the Somali immigrant population may have been involved in some way, those people are being scapegoated, and that community is being scapegoated in a way that certainly serves the far right.
You're going to hell. She going to hell. I hope you burn in hell for your lying, silly self. It's because they're Somalians, because they were involved in some way. Involved in some way, they are doing the fraud. You can't find another person involved in fraud like the Somalians. Which other people? They got daycare centers with no kids in it. No kids. None. They're not even faking like they got kids in the daycare center. They're not even spelling the words right. I'm spitting. I'm so mad. There's some Somalians involved. What? Here, look at Tim. Put Tim up. Roll Tim.
This is what happens when your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy, when you hear the Vice President of the United States talk about now white people won't have to apologize for being white. That's never happened once in my whole damn life. And I think everybody in this room knows what they're doing. So we're here today to say enough of this. We're here today to stand that Minnesota will protect their neighbors, to tell those folks who are out there who are too scared to send your children to school, who are too scared to visit a local business, who are too worried about maybe picking up extra food during the holidays at the food banks. We will do all we can to make those corridors safe for you, to make sure you're able to do what you need to do. So I'm grateful for the leadership in this room. I'm grateful with the folks who have been standing.
If you see him when you die, you went to hell. I just want you to know that. All right, let's get to the last. What was the last? And this is Nick Shirley kind of responding to them claiming that this is a white supremacist perspective. It's crazy because a white kid like him can't go out and do journalism. The Negro won't do it, so the white boy got to do it. But then y'all mad because he white. Maybe I should go do it. Then what do you say? It's white supremacy? Roll the clip.
Governor Tim Walz is saying that you and others that are out there trying to expose this, you're doing it because you're white supremacists. What is your response to him?
Yeah, Tim wants votes. There are entire apartment complexes where white people have been pushed out of these apartment complexes because Somalians have taken over and they're inside of these towns like Minneapolis where they can go get votes from these people. And if you have 100,000 people that will vote for you because you're going to enable and let this stuff happen, and because you're going to call a white person racist for calling out facts, this is what's going to happen to a state like Minnesota. Minnesotans, they say Minnesota nice, but they are very upset. And I totally understand why they're upset, because they don't have a governor who's actually working for them. He's actually working against them.
Shout out to Nick Shirley. Hey, I want to play a clip real quick because I don't know exactly what Nick Shirley's thing is, but can you play the clip of Alex Jones? Because Alex Jones gave us a pretty cool shout out. And I also want you guys to see where you can go and support Nick Shirley, also his security, but also support him. Let me put this in perspective real quick for people because I'm an influencer. I had my moment where my life changed when I blew up on the internet. One thing to understand is that when you support Nick Shirley's security, you are supporting his security. That means that all the money you give to security is going to his security. If you want to support Nick Shirley, you can support him directly as well. So if you want to see him continue to do what he needs to do and afford to buy equipment and all this, make sure you also support him personally, because we don't mess with money like that. Nick Shirley security is his security, and then his personal stuff is his personal stuff. He can spend it on security too if he wants to. But also, if you want to support him fully, give a little bit to his security and give a little bit to him directly. Let me play the clip from Alex Jones because I think he explains where you can go and help and support and roll the clip.
Lots of things are coming as far as this fraud being exposed, and it's getting very dangerous. I feel so thankful that people have reached out, people have donated, because just to get security alone for that last video, it cost $4,000. It cost $3,600 to be allowed to go out and do that video. And now it's like even more dangerous. It feels like even just dangerous to be at home. So
well, you saw the mayor last week say ICE agents are going to get killed, and now they're attacking him even more and shooting at him there and ramming him. Absolutely. So thank God for Brandon Tatum sending in his security team. And people, how do people support you? Because again, it takes money to win a war. I never even see you with sponsors. I never even see you asking for anything. How do we support you and your great work?
Yeah, the best way obviously is just to be watching.
So I think he goes on to say watching, and he said Venmo or something. We're going to put his links in the description section so people can go and support him too. Because I want you guys to understand that he does need support. So he needs support security, and he also needs personal support, because the YouTube stuff is okay, but I mean, he's got a lot of work to do. He's got to buy flights. He got to pay for all these people to come out. He needs cameras and all this, so the stuff that he would need, and we're going to support him as well. So I'm going to call him and make sure that he got his ducks lined up so he can get the support that he needs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I told you we had to talk about this. This biracial couple is online just doing the most. And I don't know if they're doing it for attention or they really believe the stuff that they're saying. Their page is _the_Cole_life, and I think their last name must be Cole. But I brought a special guest in here to talk about this because there's nobody better to talk about a biracial children in a mixed couple like my wife, who's white.
So
welcome to the show.
Wife.
Welcome to the show, Corinne.
Thank you, honey.
All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. These people triggered me yesterday because I'm scrolling through.
You were big triggered.
I mean, I'm scrolling through Instagram, and we got biracial kids.
Yeah.
And when I see people doing stuff like this, it just reminds me of why so many mixed kids are so toe up. They're psychologically
Kaepernick syndrome?
Damaged.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they don't have an identity because their parents are doing this.
Yeah.
All right, pull up the clip and we're gonna watch it together.
More intentional things we do with our mixed family.
We don't make jokes about our culture or our ethnicity in front of our kids. They're too young to understand. We'll take that personally.
Number 2, we also don't let our families say anything negative about our spouse's culture. Lexi and I have both stuck up to our families to make sure that we preserve the atmosphere around our children and around our own marriage in general.
Yes, stereotypes exist, but we do not overgeneralize in front of our children. We have our experience, but we want them to create their own experience.
And last, we tell the truth about our history to our kids, even the hard parts that don't look good on us.
Fit check.
Notice how we said on white people.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Think about this.
Where the history is bad on whitey.
Yeah, like we like for instance, if they came on a podcast and we were sitting down with them and they go, tell the truth about our history. Well, what history about black people are y'all telling the truth about?
They're not talking about FBI crime stats, I guarantee it.
They're not talking about people selling dope to their own brothers and sisters, all the crime that's committed in the inner cities, the murder rate in the inner cities.
No.
How black people commit way more crime than anybody else.
No, they're talking about white people racist.
Right. They're not talking about how black people also own slaves.
Right.
And all of these other things that is inherently negative about black people.
Yeah. I will say at first when you sent me their videos, I was like, oh, they're cute. And it wasn't like overtly BLM 2020, like white people bad. But as I was looking through the videos, it's like, oh, it's so, I don't know, that whole like victim mentality and like you have to walk on eggshells because you don't want to offend a black person and white people bad. I was like, no wonder these mixed kids, you know what I mean? No wonder mixed kids got issues.
Yeah, look
I don't know.
Look at the other video of their kids.
Right.
This is another one
Right.
where
Yeah,
he's
it
running with
gets-
his
it
kids
gets worse.
and he's saying this is where we get this from. Here's another video. Roll the clip.
We recently talked to a group of mixed adults, and they mentioned one of the reasons they struggle with identity was because one side was more favored than the other. And I don't know if that's true, but here's the thing. I'm very much aware that I'm a white father raising a son and daughter that's a different skin tone than me. And what I do know is that I don't know how their experience will be in this world. So I try to educate myself as much as possible and also challenge my own subconscious biases and stereotypes because I had them. But when it comes to raising my son and understanding the challenges he will face with his skin tone, I am not arrogant enough to believe I can teach him those things alone. We've built a large community filled with strong men that surround him, and I lean on them to help impart wisdom and strategies to navigate this world from their experience that I will never have. And as a father, I have to be humble enough to know I don't have all the answers, and also educate myself so that my son always knows I'm going to be right there beside him every step.
Now, think about this.
Brandon.
Well, he says, I don't know what my son's experience is going to be. Well, your son's experience is going to be what your experience is.
What you make it, what you instill in him, what you teach him. You teach him what's important.
Why is it going to be so much different in you? If your son was white, would you say his experience would be the same as mine? But if my son is not white, his experience is going to have to be something different. Then he goes, good. We surrounded by good men that can teach him. It was all black people.
All black men. All black men. Which is fine if those are the good men that are in his life, totally fine. But it's like, oh, I've got to like, I don't know. We totally disagree with like this kind. When Bo will say stuff like I'm black, and then Bo will say stuff like I'm white, and we're like, yeah, you're black like daddy and you're white like mommy. There's no better or worse. There's no like, oh, we got to teach him how to be black and we got to teach him how to be white. It's like, no, you're Bo. And I don't know, the way I see it is like, you got the best of your daddy and the best of your mommy. Like, you're going to run circles around everybody else. You know what I mean? I don't.
Right. And also it's very interesting because
there's a few more clips they got to put.
Yeah, it's a few more clips, but it's very interesting because, you know, you don't create things that are not there subconsciously.
Right. Yeah.
Our kids have experiences with both sides of the family equally. Like, I don't think Bo is like, my grandmother's black on my daddy's side, and it's Grandma Brenda, Grandma Carol, my daddy, your daddy. He hugs, he loves. Yeah. Everybody's the same. Nobody's even talking about this.
This cousin's, this cousin's black, this cousin's Mexican. It's just people are people.
All right, let's play another clip. We got like 2 more clips because we want to show the hypocrisy too. But this is just another clip of their trying to learn themselves in relationships. Roll the clip.
We haven't shared our full story in a while, and I think it's time to share it again. See Lexi and I now, but we were not always on the same page. Our story is one of a lot of hard work to understand each other's worlds and experiences. So I grew up in a Pentecostal church, and I was around the culture heavily. But that didn't automatically translate to me understanding everything. And when Trayvon Martin happened, Lexi and I had just started dating, and it sparked a lot of challenging conversations to learn how we saw the world. And because I cared about her, I took the time to sit and just listen.
Did she also?
Lexi didn't have to have these conversations with me, but she did choose to. And the goal for me was to understand her, not to debate her. And I had to be willing to be wrong about a number of things. Changing my perspective of society and the way things work was not easy. And processing what my role is in that society was not easy at all. But we committed to getting on the same page before we got married. So let's set the record straight. Empathy is not weakness. Learning to process pain is not weakness. And covering your spouse is not weakness. And if you see that differently, you might just be ignorant.
But do you see how? And I'm just saying, we've went through a lot of their videos, and at least 20 videos I've seen. I don't see it the other way around.
No.
It's like he's saying our relationship had all of these challenges. Trayvon Martin is a pivotal point.
The challenge was me being white.
That's exactly what it is. It's about really him being white.
Yeah, I had to listen.
Sit down and listen. What did
I had
she
to
listen
educate
to?
myself. Nothing. She's right.
She didn't listen
She's
to nothing.
right.
It's just one-sided.
It's what? Well, yes, because that's what it is. But this is why that whole woke Marxist mentality is like a cancer, and it drives me nuts. You know, even though I've got a mixed child, half black kid, however you want to say it, where it's like I don't think that the black side is like the victim side, or like the black side is like the bad side that needs like placating to. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like your kid's going to be a victim if you tell them they're a victim, and your kid's going to say, you know what I mean? Like some things are innate, right? Like Bo's athletic ability, his high twitch muscle fibers. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. There's a reason why there's, you know what I mean, more black athletes. Bo's going to be a good athlete. You know what I mean? So it's like, and he's a bright kid. So there's no reason to be like, you know, high score here, high score there, high score here. But let's make sure he knows that he's different.
Right. That's the key.
And daddy's different.
Yeah, that's the key.
It's exhausting.
I would never,
to me.
like, both of our kids, it don't matter.
No.
We don't live in a world where your color matters. Like, I don't even think about the fact that me and you different colors.
I know, me neither.
I would have to I would have to think about like, oh, we're two different colors. It don't matter because you're Korean to me.
Yeah, I agree.
You're just who you are.
I agree.
And then let me tell you this. The crazy thing about the biracial or mixed couples or whatever is that when we got together, it was Brandon and Korean. Yeah. There was no we had our cultures are so different. No, we really have the same culture.
And it was like, oh, when Trayvon Martin happened, we had a lot of stuff to figure out. It's like when we got together and we got married in 2020 and George Floyd happened, we were like, same page.
Yeah, he was wrong. You're a crackhead.
That's what I'm saying. None of it. I feel like things aren't really black and white. Things are right and wrong. And if something's right, it's right. And it's wrong, it's wrong. And that's
But baby, like we said before, it's really the white person is the problem.
Well,
like,
yes.
The pivotal point in their history was Trayvon Martin. And he had to sit and listen to her. Trayvon Martin wasn't even killed by police officers.
Or a white person.
Zimmerman wasn't even really white.
Exactly.
And Zimmerman, he got off because technically the law was in his favor based on the eyewitness testimony. So it really wasn't some crazy injustice that happened. I think it was wrong. I think the guy Zimmerman should have went to prison. Yes. But when you look at the law and you look at the witnesses and what was proven, what wasn't proven, it was really no choice for him to get off. The law says he can stand your ground. Trayvon was beating his head into the ground. You know, whatever the case may be, the law is the law.
Yeah.
So to act like this is such a pivotal moment where Trayvon is the pivotal point in our relationship. Trayvon is a kid over here that got killed by white. But y'all don't talk about black people getting killed every day.
By?
Other.
That, yes, to me, that was what was kind of exhausting about this. And then, you know how the first video, they were like, and we don't make jokes about the other's cultures. And we don't let our family make jokes about each other's cultures. And I'm like, me and your black mama, we make jokes about everybody together.
Everybody. Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that thing.
We make jokes about black people.
I've been married to a white woman
about...
long enough where that I hear the smoke detectors now.
I'm like, don't you hear that, Brandon? You don't
It's
hear
funny.
That?
Let me tell you.
But how exhausting, and this could just be, everyone's different, that's fine. But how exhausting to be in like a relationship where you can't joke about each other's cultures. Like if I was married to an Indian or a Mexican, like, you know what I mean? My sister-in-law's Mexican, and we make jokes about each other's cultures. Like this, like living in a Fabergé egg, you know what I mean? Like living in, just being so fragile where nothing is funny. But then, I don't think they played it yet.
We're going to play it. Let's go to
play
Exhibit A and B. because to be honest, when they say we don't joke about each other's culture in front of the kids, it's really... white men better not joke about black people at all.
Yes.
Man, listen, these are the two clips we found.
But that mentality is the white daddy can't joke about black mommy because white daddy's better.
Right.
Right? Because you can't punch down. You can't joke down. White daddy's better than us, so he can't make jokes about us because that's not funny.
And watch what they do.
That is so inherently racist and disgusting to me because I don't think black people are better than me, so therefore I can joke about them.
Yeah, it's fair game.
A joke.
We're all the same.
Funny.
It's fair game. Roll the clip on.
After 10 years, I've never seen Brian do this until today. He's been doing it forever.
Consistently.
You're around my people, my people. I realize that Brian forces adapt.
Not forces, transition. Because y'all not about to Obama me. You know what I'm saying? You know you know that part where Obama's like, going through the line of people and then sees a white guy and he's like, I refuse. That's not happening to me.
So how in the world do you do this?
Okay, it's actually really simple.
Hey.
So they go with the whole, the white, but pause it.
Yeah.
So you got the white man that goes around a black
handshake.
family and he now got to dap up black people because that's what they do.
But I don't really know that's, to me, that's not like a bad thing. It's like you just get in where you fit in.
Right.
Like if that's what they do, this is what we do here.
But the whole conversation that even had about that is if your people are different than my people and you got to dap it up when you come over our house. But they don't have no videos of her going to the white side of the family. I have not seen no white people in none of their videos.
Yeah.
Nobody from his family. Yeah. Let's go to the other one where she's making fun of him being white, him running through the snow.
But they don't make jokes about each other's cultures.
Right. Roll it.
There's some things you just can't change about people. You're crazy.
You crazy.
You can't take it out of them fully. It's in them.
It's in them.
But you will never see him in a video saying that about her.
Not changing the smoke. Not changing the smoke detector.
It's in them. This is beta male energy.
Yeah,
Let me ask you this last question because, like, which one you think is worse? Do you think the white man married to the black woman with mixed kids are worse than the black man married to the white woman? I honestly believe.
What do you mean worse?
Worse meaning the worst way they raise their kids. Because I almost feel like that with the white man married to the black woman, well, it depends, right? Because I think if the white man is married to the black woman and the black woman is not engulfed in a black culture.
Yes. But I feel like the issue with, and I could be wrong, but I feel like my observation is that mixed kids who've got an issue, you know what I mean, with being mixed, is when they have parents like this, and I could be wrong, it's just an observation, but like mommy is overcompensating or mommy feels a certain way because she didn't marry a strong black man, she married a white man. So now, you know what I mean? We got to overcompensate for the blackness because we don't want you to think you're too white now. You know what I mean? Whereas white women married to a black, it's just like, that's daddy. You know what I mean? There's no, I don't feel a way of like, he needs to get some whiteness in him because it's like, you can shoot guns. You know what I mean? You can hunt, you can fight, you can like do all the things my white dad and white brother, you know what I mean, does. So it's like, to me, you're like, you are the same as my brother and my dad, like identical. You know what I mean? In a lineup, bam, 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 same. So I don't feel any like, what's the word? Like I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. Where it's over there, I'm missing out on having a strong black man leading my household. So I got to overcompensate.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying too, because what happens a lot of times is that I think that
I'm going to get in so much trouble speaking for black women.
We're regular people.
Yes.
Like, we not stupid and weird.
No.
Like,
I'm
we're
not,
regular.
Yes.
We're regular people. So when I'm around white people,
you're the same.
I'm the same, and I'm not like super ghetto. I'm not like going around your white family with gold teeth in my mouth, and I'm just
Well, no,
such
you're
this
not
weird
coming
person.
around my family like
I'm oppressed.
Pronunciating your words correctly so they can accept you with your, loafers on and your polo shirt.
Yeah.
And then we go around we go to
Yeah.
Dallas around your black family, and you're just you. And you're comfortable with being you, and you have no issue with who you are.
Right, and I'm just me because I'm a Christian, right?
Yes.
I'm a man of God. So I used to be a certain way with gold teeth and all that stuff, but I changed as a man.
Yes.
And who I am as a man is who I am around everybody. Yeah. So if black people that I grew up with is like, you changed. Yeah, I did. I became a man. And if white people are like, well, you're not like this. Well, so what? That's not me.
Yeah.
So I'm just me.
But I feel like I'm the same too around my family and your family.
Right. But you shouldn't
I
be.
don't change.
You know
I just feel comfortable around good people.
You know the difference because you're a normal person. Like,
Yeah.
to be honest, like the music
Whiteness
you like.
is not my identity.
Right.
Blackness is not your identity.
Right, it's not. It's like, I'm Brandon and I like these things. And
Yes.
you're Korean and you like these things.
Yeah.
And my family also ain't weird. You know,
No,
like my
you're-
daddy and
yes.
them are normal people. Like my daddy
Yes.
was a firefighter and was a fire chief. And
Yes.
so he had to be around diverse groups of people.
Yes.
So it's not like he got to be black and white when he got to be black and white. And,
Yeah.
and like even your dad, like me and your dad, like we both were cops.
Right.
So we
But
got a lot in common.
My brother's covered in tattoos. Your cousins are covered in tattoos. To me, it's just like, I don't know. I just feel comfortable around all people.
It's only when people make a big deal out of it. Like,
Yeah.
meaning that what happens is, and I'm going to shut up, I promise. What happens is the white dude that
Got
kind of
him.
want to be black.
Yeah. But I also
And he
feel
go
like
marry a black woman,
But he
and
said he
she-
grew up in the culture, meaning around black people.
Right,
in his,
exactly.
Black Pentecostal church.
And he
But
kinda-
that's fine if that's how you feel
Right.
comfortable.
But
If
he-
that's your identity.
But he wants to be black.
Yeah.
He wants to be black, so that's why he with a black woman.
But then
And
you're
then the black woman, she really don't want to with black dudes like that. So she really rather be with a white dude, but she want to be the white dude that she can control.
black enough.
Or that's cultured. So she can kind of ease him into the family and all this stuff. That's how I see it. That don't mean that that's true. I don't know these people.
Yeah.
But that's
I
kind of
also
how I
fe-
feel.
But like when, I don't know, to me, when people talk about mixed kids and they're going to have, identity issues and, it's like, yeah, when you raise them from their two, believing as an adult that they're lacking something.
Yeah.
I don't think my child is either boy are lacking in anything.
Yeah.
But that starts with like me as the parent. And if somebody else has a problem with it, that's their problem. That's not your problem. That's their problem.
And I don't look at my boys like, you know what? In this world, because you black, you got to be extra cautious when you get put over by the cops. I'm like, no, if you acting a fool.
But I'm a white girl. I had that talk. My dad was a cop. My stepmom was a cop. And I got the talk when I was 16 and got a driver's license.
It's not. You
what
didn't get,
you do when you get pulled
right,
over.
but you didn't get the talk that you're going to get targeted because of the color of your skin.
Oh, no, not targeted.
You got the talk that this is how you do when you get pulled over.
When you get pulled over, you put your hands at 10 and 2. You make your hands seen. You roll your window down.
Right.
Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. So when, BLM, Hands Up, Don't Shoot 2020 happened, and it was like, oh, we have to give our kids a talk. I'm like, every kid with a driver's license should get the talk. It's common sense. This is how you act. This is how you behave when you get pulled over by the police so they don't fear for their life.
Yeah, you don't get confused
that's not
about
a color
something. They don't
thing.
know. They don't get confused with what you're doing, and it's
Right.
not really a black thing.
No,
People
it's a
are so
behavior
fake.
thing.
They're so fake because
So
like
fake.
the only way it'll be a black thing is if you riding around like this with a
Right.
hoodie on,
Yeah.
and you riding in the car and it's
then you hide
freaking
your
sunny
hands.
outside and
Yeah.
it's 85 degrees and you like this, and you driving around and you got you like this. And you drive around your car and it's hot and they like, what does this dude got a hoodie
Right.
on for?
Sure.
And you like got gold teeth in your mouth and you like, well, Shada, why you pull me over,
You
bro?
don't roll your window down.
And then
you're
I ain't
rude.
rolling down the window.
Yeah,
Now I know my
yes.
rights. And
Yes.
that's what's gonna get your
Yes.
shot.
Right.
But if you just a regular dude
Yeah. But that
following the law,
yes, but
I
that
was
behavior,
a cop.
that behavior is not good for black or white people.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just telling you,
behavior.
like, as an example
Yeah.
for a black person.
Sure,
And you
okay.
doing that, that's how you get shot.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like I was a cop. We know the difference between
Yes.
thugs
Yes.
and a regular dude just driving down the street.
Yeah.
We know if you selling dope or you not. We know it. We deal with both people all day. But anyway.
Yeah. I was going to make a joke about a Chrysler 300, but I won't.
I know you're going to say something racist before we end this show. But anyway, we got to come back. Y'all come in the conversation.
Wait, you didn't play the other video.
Do you want the wifey
Are you dead?
back? Do you want the wifey back?
I didn't even give you guys my best stuff. I held back today.
We played all the videos, baby.
Oh, yeah, you did. You're right. Okay, you're right.
She don't even know. I know how to run the show. I've been
You're
doing this
You're
while you know.
Don't mansplain me.
It's called black mansplain you.
Don't blacksplain me.
Blacksplain.
That's what they were doing.
Blacksplain.
That's what she was doing. She was blacksplaining to him why he's the problem.
We need a shirt called Blacksplain. We'll do it next time. But anyway, thank you, sweetheart, for coming on.
You're welcome.
Y'all comment in the comment section. You think Corinne needs to come back, or should she always remain off my show? I'm just playing. I know y'all love her to death like I do. All right, make sure you go and subscribe to the channel. Like and subscribe to The Officer Tatum, the podcast, everything. Y'all know I got a podcast. It's not just on video. It's also on podcast. Substack, The Officer Tatum as well. Freedom Chat, if you want end-to-end encrypted communication and you want to support me and join, all you got to do is go to Freedom Chat on your app store. Black Lion, shout out to Black Lion for protecting Nick Shirley. And also, we will protect everybody who need protection. But we love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one. We're out.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my